First things first, I want to make it clear that this video is sponsored by ASUS and Fierce PC, so thank you to those guys who are supporting the channel and keeping me making these videos. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. So for me, this is kind of an interesting time where we can actually game without a GPU. It's been possible for a few years now on the kind of AMD APU front, and of course if you look at the Steam hardware server, you will see plenty of people rocking Intel integrated graphics. But this new launch, these new AMD Ryzen of second generation 2400G and 2200Gs, these are kind of an interesting point where we're actually able to game on a GPU pretty well. Now, if you haven't seen my full review of the two chips that are in these really rather cool looking systems, then feel free to take a look at that video. I'll link it in the end cards and in the description down below for you, and it'll also be one of the more recent videos on the channel, so feel free to take a look at that. But with that said, I will cover a little bit of the performance numbers in here for you just to give you a good idea. But the thing with these systems though, and these chips, is that they really provide some excellent value for money. GPU prices are basically at an all-time high right now, with obviously cryptocurrency mining and stuff like that being a very big strain on the industry, and obviously with people like Nvidia and AMD kind of not really necessarily willing to ramp up production massively for fear that the crypto mining industry will collapse at any point. So it's a bit of a kind of rock and a hard place for a lot of kind of budget buyers right now. With the introduction of these chips though, you end up with some systems that are actually at a pretty decent price point. So the two systems that are next to me are £600 and £650 at the time of filming. Now, this is a fairly high-end configuration for these chips. So you do have 16GB of, I think it's 3200 MHz RAM. So you can actually configure these systems as well. So if you wanted to put, say, 8 gigs of RAM, which would knock the price down a good £70 to £80, I think, at the time of filming anyway, you're likely going to see some pretty decent, obviously, price points available for you there. You can also, for example, throw in an SSD, as both of these systems just have Fire CUDA drives, which are plenty fast, but are only a 1TB hard drive or 2TB hard drive, depending on what spec you end up getting. Now, to give you a bit of a price comparison here so that you kind of understand where these sit in the market, if you were to pick up a system from, again, someone like Fierce PC, you can pick up something like an Athlon X4 860K and a 1050, which hypothetically could perform better in games. That would be 8GB of DDR3 RAM and a standard 1TB hard drive as opposed to the Fire CUDA in these. Obviously, with these specific systems, you get double the RAM. And the main thing for me is actually how much faster the CPU is, even without regarding the GPU here. The Athlon 860K, that one's around about sort of 300 to 320 points in Cinebench, multi-threaded, and about 80-ish points in 87 points, I think I saw, in single-threaded. Whereas obviously these chips, even the lower end chip, the 2200G, you're still looking at I think 500 or 600 points in Cinebench. The higher end chip is 864, if I remember rightly, and the single-threaded results are both over 100, so it's a fair bit faster on the CPU side. Of course, on the GPU side, you are going to be a little bit limited there because the 1050 still will be a decent bit faster, but if you were to look at a system that is similarly spec'd in terms of CPU and the overall just general build, with obviously just having a bit of a faster graphics card, then you're looking at actually spending £750 from, again, Fierce PC, just for their specific specs that they have. That would be a GTX 1050 Ti and I think it's actually a Ryzen 1300X, so that's a pretty decent system, and it's a pretty decent price point for it at the time of filming. But obviously, if you're planning on going the most budget you can, but still having almost a bit more of a sort of, I don't like the word, but future-proof system where you're still going to have the ability to add a GPU in afterwards. Both of these systems come spec with 500 watt power supplies, so you can add in basically any graphics card you want after the fact. So this kind of allows for a better range of upgradability, and also just having integrated graphics is a nice thing to have as well. And of course, if you just want, say, a cheap second system to go in your living room that you might occasionally play some, couch games with friends, like some Gang Beasts or something, but generally just going to be used for media center use, something like the 2200G or even the 2400G is a fantastic option for that. You don't have to shell out much money for the system. You can obviously have a lot of customizability quality in terms of, you know, just sheer small size. You really don't have to care about the graphics card at all, and obviously you still get some pretty decent performance too. So overall, these are some fantastic chips, and especially in terms of the value for money proposition they have, it's really pretty brilliant. It's certainly just a good thing for the industry to have more budget options available, so I'm really glad that AMD has put these in at the price point they're at, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you planning on picking up a 22 or 2400G or a system with that base? Let me know in those comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to check out either of these systems, I'll leave links to them in the description down below, and I'll leave a link just to Fierce PC as well, so if you want to check through their budget catalogue, feel free to do that too. Also, if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and now Saturday with the Tech FAQ series. And also, obviously, thank you to ASUS and Fierce PC for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out some more videos, including the review of these two chips, I'll leave them over here for you to take a look at. Also, feel free to support me using the affiliate links in the description down below, or the Patreon link if you want to support me directly. And otherwise, that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in the next video.